Ever feel like the heart of our community gets lost in the noise of the daily news? I'm your host, Pastor James Dimmel, and on the Beyond Belief Incredible Stories of God's Miracles podcast, we're pulling back the curtain on the people and projects making a real difference right here in our backyard. From local leaders to hidden gems, we share the stories that hit home. Join the conversation every month. Search for Beyond Belief Incredible Stories of God's Miracles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Welcome to Beyond Belief Podcast, episode 2. Today we have Elbert.
That's all right.
I'm Matt Lamb, co-host, along with our host, Pastor James. As always, I'm going to turn it over to Jim Bob and let him give Delbert a little better introduction here.
So we've known each other a long time, right?
A long time. Yeah.
So have you had a good week?
It's been a good week. Been busy. Yeah.
So we brought you here to tell your testimony. It's an exciting thing, and it's actually a powerful move of God in your life, right?
Yes.
And so we don't have a bunch of time, so let's just get into it. Is that okay?
Yes.
What is your title of the covering?
I'm the co-founder.
Okay. Yeah. Co-founder of the covering. You should look it up if they don't know about it, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And so been in ministry how long? How many years?
I got saved when I was 18, and so started in ministry probably 6 years after that. Been within working on the praise team and different things. Starting a church in Greenfield, helping with that and stuff. So since the early '97 through now. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been several years.
So
most of my life.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
So you, at a young age, you talked about, or you talk about when we talked, you said, I had some isolation and some silence in my heart. I think that's how you put it. And you were trying to navigate your faith, and you were having issues with fear at the same time.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
And then, so I think the best thing for us to do is to kind of walk through that start, because you get saved, right?
Right.
And had you always been to church as a kid?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't until I went off and on as a kid with the neighbors, cousins and stuff, but it wasn't until I was 18 that I went to church and actually gave my heart to the Lord.
Okay, so at 18 years old. Now, before that, though, did you have issues as a kid, like, wondering, like, is there a God, or, did you go through, like, I kind of went through that as a kid. Did you go through that, Matt, where you had issues like, is God real, or did you just not think about it?
No, I honestly knew that God was real.
Okay.
Like there was, I grew up in a very poor family, and the atmosphere was very poor. We didn't have much of anything, but there was just something inside me that I knew that God was real.
Okay. So the whole time, even before you gave your life to the Lord.
Yeah, before my family background was ministers and church,
okay.
And all that stuff. My grandfather was a minister and uncles and stuff like that. So I always knew. And then when the family gatherings would gather around, there was a lot of emphasis on God and a lot of singing and all that kind of stuff. So I just always felt like that God was real.
So we're setting the stage basically for this radical transformation. God's real, but you had, let me put it this way, you had a shame and identity crisis.
Yes.
Even at a young age?
Yes.
Okay, and then you struggled with what freedom really was, and then at 18 years old you get saved.
Yes.
Like for real saved, not like people do now, where they go pray off a little conviction and then would you say that?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, and so this isolation that you had, can you talk more about it? Why do you feel like you're isolated and had fear?
Well, I think it goes back to the struggle inside.
Okay.
Because back in those days, it was just, the struggle was very real, but it was not accepted. Does that make sense? But, go ahead.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what you're saying is it wasn't accepted, meaning as homosexuality?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things that was just taboo,
Yeah.
Even in the church world, I'd heard ministers say, put them all on an island and let them all die, So that's in the back of my mind with that struggle. So it was not something that you just could really sit down and just have a conversation with anyone about, because it was so, it was against it, So I was trying to marry being a Christian, know what the Bible said, yet having this real struggle inside, and feeling very alone about all that.
This clash.
Yes.
Right? Okay, with the inner. So How long had you been saved before you decided to get married?
So I was 18, so I think I got married around 25.
25 years old. So you say you've been a Christian for 7 years and you've been battling this the whole time and you didn't feel like you could talk to your pastor?
Nobody.
Why?
It was just not a welcoming thing. It wasn't, what is the right, it wasn't, because it was so dark and it was not accepted in the Christian world. And back in those days, that lifestyle was very not accepted. So I just didn't feel the freedom to do that.
So you're
not that my pastors were bad. I think I had great pastors.
Right.
It was my choice not to bring it up because of that fear of rejection, and all that stuff. So.
And did you feel like they couldn't help you? Like, is that like a personal thing or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pursuing what you call normal or what you think normal is in the church world, and it's not going well.
Right.
And then you get married in 1992, I think.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Can you walk through your marriage? So you get married, it's an exciting time?
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting because part of it was, for me, was a sense of normality,
Okay.
So this is going to help me come through this struggle and be normal, be a normal man, married,
So on the outside, everything's going well. Everything's normal. You have this seemingly good marriage, and now you're in ministry, right? So you add on all this, you add that on top of it. Did you guys immediately have children? Because that seems like it compounds the situation. Okay.
We did. We are probably, our daughter we'd have been married a year and so many months, whatever. But she was not too far after we got married.
Okay.
And then we had complications with her.
Right.
She was born at 3 pounds and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
So you're navigating all this stuff, and because you were poor as a child, did you have a good job? Was it, would you say that you had like the normal American life, or was it above average?
That was a normal American life.
Okay.
Just the average everyday person. I worked for Walmart and began to move up into management as well, and I had a good marriage.
Right.
I began to pour myself into the marriage, learning my wife, knowing I could buy her anything, give her anything, and I knew that she would like it because I was doing everything I could to make this good. And for the first several years, it was good.
Okay, so you get married.
Yes.
You got a couple kids.
Yes.
And you're in ministry too.
In ministry.
Okay, so all this is compounded, but it looks normal on the outside.
Right.
Would you say that your wife, Jenny, would you say that she knew that there was anything going on, or did you keep it a secret?
It was a secret.
Okay, and how did you struggle with, did you view pornography or anything like that?
Not for the first several years of marriage.
Okay.
Up to, my son was probably, Colin, he was the second child, so we're talking the early 2000s. So we get married in 92. So we're probably 10 years into the marriage when I was working at Walmart. And I felt like all this was kind of just like hidden. Right?
Okay.
So everything was good, doing ministry good, doing all this stuff good. And then at Walmart, I overheard something that sparked it. It just...
Okay, are you going to tell us?
Yeah, so I worked with an individual, and I overheard a conversation with another couple that knew this individual, and they was saying, wow, this guy did this before he got married, and all this stuff, which was with another guy, and before he got married, he decided to get with another guy, or whatever, before he got married, and that caused the beast to come alive. So then I become driven to find out and become very good friends with this guy.
Oh, the guy that you knew that were having... Oh, hold up. So the guy that you knew was having homosexual issues, you thought, okay...
Well, he really wasn't. He was married and all this stuff.
And he was doing good. He had just been through that before.
Yeah, but I didn't really know him, right? But I determined to know him at this point to find out, is this real? Did he really do this or whatever? And so it was really manipulation on my part to dig in to become close enough for him to tell the truth, and it did.
So when you start to pursue him, that's a good word probably.
Yeah.
When you start to pursue him, how does it go with your wife at that point? Does anything change? Still nothing happens.
Nothing. No.
Normal Christian life, going to church?
Well, yeah. So at this point, when the beasts become alive,
Okay.
right, I begin to do things to my wife. There began a separation between me and her. And so as things progressed with this guy, then my being mean to her and saying things to her progressed as well.
And you're trying to create distance between you and her?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Because if she left me, biblically, I was good.
Well, yeah. I mean, in your mind.
In my mind.
Right?
So I was trying to set the stage and do all this stuff. So I was being mean to her. She still had no clue what was going on and the reasons why.
But up until this point, you had always catered to her and tried to create a better marriage.
I think I was a good husband.
And then when you had this click moment, or the beast comes out, as you say, then everything began to change. And there grew this big chasm between you?
Yeah, it started. Yeah, but nobody even knew. Still,
it was still in your mind.
We went to church. With me and her, it became very dark in our home. And she, when we would get in the car to go home, silence. She would sleep upstairs. I would sleep downstairs.
So you didn't even sleep in the same bed?
No.
When did that take place?
It was early 2000s when all this started coming out. And but when we go to church or we was around family, as you know, we've been around you. Everybody thought we were fine. Everything was good, But that wasn't the case.
Can I ask you a question that, like, as I think about it, it comes up? How did it affect your kids?
Our kids didn't know.
So you don't think it affected them?
We never argued. We always made it a point that we never argued in front of the kids. And so our kids, when we went through all this, a lady asked my daughter, she said, "How did you and your brother deal with this?" She said, "The only thing I know out of all of this was the good that came out of this. I knew nothing else about all that in the past." The Lord protected them because they knew nothing. We outside our bedroom doors, we were good with the kids, and it wasn't their fault. Mm-hmm. So we kept things good with them. So they didn't know.
So this is going bad, and then when's the point you pick a fight with her? There's a point where you pick a fight so that you can be separated, right?
Yeah, so I'm building this up with her. Like, I'm really mean to her. I called her names, I did things, and I really said horrible things to her, trying to get her to make me leave.
And she wouldn't?
She wouldn't.
She just kept praying?
She kept praying.
She's a very God-fearing woman.
She is.
Yeah. And so she prays, and then you decide to go to a bar. And this is where it really gets... So
we separate. So
okay. You do separate?
We do separate
okay.
For like 6 months.
Okay.
Right? So, and still she don't know.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Were you going to church and act like everything was okay?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. So, praise team and everything. Put on the big show.
So you sang on the praise team?
Yeah.
Cry, raise your hands?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because I knew God was real, right?
Yeah.
But still, I had the battle, but I had hands laid on me, all this, all that stuff. So,
well, we say at the church all the time, Satan wars in the mind. And Daniel chapter 7, verse 5 talks about it specifically, and we don't understand that. You know what I mean?
Right,
Satan wars in the mind. And so he's winning the battle in your mind right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So, where was we at?
You had separated. So you're going to church and act like everything's okay.
Yeah, and so we separate, we're separated for about 6 months, and I'm going to the bars, strip clubs.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know this part.
Right.
I'm getting the dirt. The dirt on Delbert.
But it was bad, and which was a waste of whatever. But anyways, we do stupid things.
This is Matt all the time, by the way.
No, I'm taking it in, man.
So we separate for about 6 months, and then I'm sitting in a bar, and this is a real thing that happened. So I'm sitting in the bar, and I'm just sitting there drinking, and I feel, you know, the scripture says many are called but few are chosen. Well, that scripture is just going over and over, like drinking at a bar, right? And I feel him, like Matt said, I feel him sitting beside me. And I'm like...
You feel the Lord sitting beside you?
Yes, very quietly, not saying a word. And I said, just let me go. Please leave me alone. Let me go. Let me go do what I want to do. He just sat there, never said a word. But I knew, deep inside, I knew that he was saying, you need to go home. So I did.
You got up and went home?
Well, not that day, but that next morning. But yeah, I called her and said I want to come home, and so she let me come home.
Okay, so for everybody out there that's listening to this, I just want to recap where we are so far. Okay? As a kid, you struggled, but nobody knew. All the way up till 12 years of marriage.
Yes.
You have kids, you're in... See, that's the big thing for me, because like, I feel like there's so many people in the church that just continue to deal with their issue and their sin and their problem. They feel like Jesus can't fix it.
Right.
But he is the fixer. I mean, he is the mind mender.
Exactly.
And
we live in a time now that I feel like that there's so many people that would be helpful and will help people. And it's okay. It's okay that you struggle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not going to put everybody on an island. We're going to
it.
help them. You know what I'm saying? So we're living at a time where people will help people now.
Yeah.
Where I didn't feel like it was back then. Not that was it was just a different time. But today, there's so many people that struggle with so many different things that people will help.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing, yeah.
Not just with homosexuality, though.
No.
Like, there's so many things.
There's so many kinds. I was listening, when I come back, I was listening to I read an article and on CNN, and they said, it was asking the porn producers, you know, said, what's next? And they said, and they flipped around and said, nothing's next. We've done everything that we can do to a woman's body. There's nothing else we can do. You know, but that's the demented mind just keeps spiraling into darkness, and it just wants more and more because it doesn't satisfy this flesh. There's only one person that can satisfy this flesh, and that's the Creator.
That's right.
Yeah.
King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But do you think that we live in a society now, and I don't mean to get off subject, it's really part of the subject, but we live in a society now where everybody's spiritual, but nobody knows the Word?
Yes.
And I think that is kind of the great issue that we have.
It's about discipling people.
It is.
Discipling people. Walking people through their journey. That's what it is.
So you're sitting in the Valley of Decision,
Yes.
in a bar, and all of this. I mean, when people, like we've had people reach out to us and say, you know, how do we get on the podcast? But the thing is you have to have a beyond belief moment.
Right.
Right.
That was it.
That was it. You're sitting at a bar. You're drinking. Did you drink before?
No, I never did. Yeah.
What made you decide? Okay, okay. This is the new normal.
Yeah. So I was, and it was crazy because I was a weak drinker. Like I would drink stupid stuff, and I was just stupid. And I was like, but I never drank before. I never did drugs or anything. But at this point, I'm just all in rebellion. I just want to do my own thing and all this kind of stuff. So
let's back up briefly. Did you ever have a homosexual encounter with this guy or anybody else that you were with, or does it happen after this?
Well, I will say this, that yes, a few different people. Yes.
And so when you go through that, did you feel like broken or?
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, because the thing is, as a Christian and knowing the Word, God is always present. So
right.
the guilt of all that is that He was there.
Yeah.
The whole time. And just like when I'm sitting in the bar, He was there. Well, doing those things, He's there. So then you feel that humiliation because you know the Bible. And you also, when you know that the Word is true and what it speaks to about that lifestyle, you can't argue it.
How do you think people stay in it though? Because I always have, like for years and years, just continue to struggle with the same thing.
Honestly, back in the day, we did not disciple new people out. We just didn't do it. Today, discipling is you got to get the Word in people. The thing that kept me alive It kept me not fully given over and just walking away, because I was willing to walk away from my kids, my wife, and everything, and just walk away. Was the word. The word.
And so because of the word, you knew better than to do that.
I knew better. And then, but I didn't know how to battle it. I didn't know how to take care of these inner desires, versus just being what you call normal, whatever that is. I didn't know how to do all that, because I was never discipled. So I had to go into a program to tell me how to do that.
I talk about the scripture, I found his word and I did eat it all the time.
Yeah.
But
I meditated day and night.
Yeah, I think as people, though, if we don't do that, we're in trouble. And we don't even know that we're in trouble.
Right.
We have issues and problems and sin. We don't call it sin anymore.
Right, exactly.
And so your beyond belief moment is Jesus sits down with you and you knew he was there. You want to talk about that? A little, I want you to give the detail. Because there are people out there they're in need of that.
I physically felt like I could almost see him, sitting there next to me. But he sat kind of sideways, not giving me attention. He was sitting there very firm and not listening to my ramble. Make sense?
Yeah.
So he was taking it in, but I knew, because of the word, I knew he was saying, this is it. It is today. Many are called, but few are chosen.
So you felt like that you were chosen
for whatever purpose, the covering or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he has a plan for our life. It doesn't matter. It's going to come full circle. So we can do what we want to do, but if he has a plan for our lives, it's always going to come around. And you know what I mean? It's going to come back, because he's going to fulfill what he's purposed for your life to fulfill.
That's good.
Especially when you have the word and the word's been put into your life.
Your whole life.
My whole life. So when you do that and you have that, you can't get away from that. You can't argue with it. You have to at some point give in and say, here I am, Lord. It's not I that live, but Christ that lives in me. And he was in me. I was just battling both worlds.
So you have this interaction and you feel like, especially when you ask him to leave, he's like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And that interaction, did you break down at the bar? Did you start to cry at the bar, or how did that go? Because you say it was almost as if he was sitting there and you could see him.
Yeah, he was there.
That's a wild moment, right?
Yeah.
And so, did you break down?
I did. And I think either that night or the next day. I probably did the next day, because I wouldn't have called her. But I called probably the next day and said, I want to come home.
Do you recall people around you? Or was it?
It was just, when I look back on it now, it was just there. That was it.
So at that moment, you say, leave me alone. And he's like, nope.
Let me go. Yeah.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
So you get up, you go home, go to bed, whatever, get up the next morning. What takes place then?
Well, I just decided, I told the people I was staying with, I'm going home, and I go home. But from that point, when I got home, it was still probably for 4 years dark in our house. So nothing changed as far as...
So you went home, but that was it?
I went home, and I knew that that's what I needed to do, but it took probably another 4 to 5 years after that before the real change took place. So it was still dark, so we're still battling. And then,
did you tell her then what was going on?
That's a wrap on this episode of Beyond Belief Podcast. We want to hear from you. What's happening in your corner of the world? Reach out to us on social media and let us know. If you loved what you heard, please take the like button down, spin it around, and put it back. Then subscribe and tell all your friends. I'm your co-host, Matt Lamb. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next episode.